It's time to laugh, learn, and take your photography to the next level with your favorite cowgirls with cameras, Kara, Kim, and Phyllis.
Welcome to the Cowgirls with Cameras podcast. I'm Kimberly Beer with Kim Beer Photography and Be More Business.
I'm Kara with Fast Horse Photography.
And I'm Phyllis with Phyllis Burchett Photo. Good afternoon, y'all.
Hey.
How is everybody doing and what have you been up to? I know Kara's been going crazy. Every time I talk to you, you're on a photo shoot somewhere.
That's what it's season. It's my season. You know what I will say is I have been busy with photography, but it's been different this season. And some of the other photographers that do similar to what I do in terms of like equine and equestrian portraiture, they're saying the same thing. It's just a little different out there this season. So for me, it's been a few portrait sessions, but it's been a lot more like branding type stuff, small equestrian business type stuff, a lot more video or image library completion type stuff. It's been interesting. It's been a weird shift, and I would love to hear from other photographers who are tuning in that are portrait photographers, like if they're seeing some kind of shift right now in their businesses. So been interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Tell us on social media what are you seeing trending? I was in a networking group the other day and we were talking about trends within our particular industries. And it was interesting to see what people were noticing around them as being things that were trends, like things, and maybe that trend isn't the right word, but like, what are you noticing is different or unique in this year? Because things are changing. I feel like we're finally putting COVID behind us and we have all kinds of new challenges right now everywhere. So how are people meeting those challenges? That's an interesting conversation topic.
For sure.
What are you doing, Phyllis? What are you up to? You just came back from a trip.
Just got back from Nebraska, had a great time. Mackenzie, the Minnesota farm girl, came down to pick me up. Well, that's who she is on Instagram. Anyway, we spent some time at the Arapahoe Ranch, and they're in the middle of calving season. So we got to play. I got to do some fun things. Got to play a little with light. We got to. Mackenzie brought her constant light we could put in a tent and do some stuff there. We got blessed on an extraordinarily beautiful sunrise and did some light painting and trying to get ready for a Montana workshop. So I know what I'm doing since I told people I would teach them how to do that.
Hey, sometimes pressure under fire is one of those things. Yeah.
That's I seem to work better that way. So why do today what I can put off to learn tomorrow? No.
Well, I have to tell you, Phyllis, I have high expectations because I'm bringing a tripod and I have to buy a whole new suitcase in order to get it
my
there.
Goodness. The pressure is on. Hey, the pressure
is on.
Wait a minute. You already admitted that the suitcase was for your tripod. Excuse me. That might be my phone.
Yes, because I'm bringing my tripod to
but you're doing video. You said you were using it for video, so you didn't buy the tripod just for light painting.
Oh, come on. Let me have that. No, I did buy it for video. I have been through a whole gear swap. Like I completely traded out of all of my EF equipment and now am completely mirrorless in the Canon world. So
fancy.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting fancy and it can't wait to I've already been out and done a job with with some of my new gear and it was a blast. So yeah, I'm super excited to get it to Montana and be able to do a lot of really creative stuff with it. Other than that, it's just been spring around here on the farm and we have been, I'm going to say blessed because I know how dry everyone else in the country is. We have been blessed with a multitude of rain. We have been blessed with mud. We have a lot of mud. And
it's mud season.
So, yeah, our garden is in though, and for the most part, and I'm got some horses battling some various issues that the rain is not super helpful around. And other than that, I've been being a farm girl all the way around, farming left and right. So yeah, it's been kind of a fun spring. I've been enjoying it and I feel really good because I've been outside a lot.
That's awesome.
I've been working in my yard a lot too. So, yep. And it makes it better because now I probably won't have to water this week for the first time, and I don't know when, since we got some rain this morning, and we're supposed to get a little rain off and on all week. Prayers and thoughts are sending it to South Georgia and North Florida for sure. And I heard Nebraska
and
is
Nebraska.
some too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been crazy dry in several places.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I do want to mention we do have some spaces open for some workshops and retreats. We have a couple of spaces left open for our Trappers Lake Lodge in Colorado in the fall, which is absolutely stunning. If you like fall scenery and you've always wanted to shoot horses in fall scenery, this is your event. It's gorgeous. We are also I partner with Korean Shippers to do an event called the Powderhorn Women's Retreat at the Powderhorn Ranch. And we're going to be there in June this year. It's actually June 11th through the 15th. And we have several spots open for that. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be beautiful. Wyoming in June is gorgeous. The weather is fantastic. And they have babies. And I would say that we'll have some babies around. I can't guarantee that because I haven't talked to the breeding farm. But typically they do have some babies on the ground by then. And it's wildflower season in Wyoming. And it's going to be so much fun. If you haven't ever been to the Powderhorn, it's super relaxing and joyful. And I can't wait to get there and shoot some videos. And yeah, if you have any questions about that, reach directly out to me.
You did say wildflower and not wildfire.
You did say wildfire, it sounded like, but
Yeah, you sounded like you said wildfire.
That's my my backwoods Missouri accent. Wildflower. Kind of like Arrowhead.
I don't know. Who says that?
Arrowhead. Okay. So, and now you found my word. So when I do Arrowhead for you, you can say wildfire for me. Okay. All right. On to our topic of the day. So our topic for this episode is to talk about the truth behind comparison, confidence, and feeling like everyone else is ahead of you. And I know for me personally, even after 30 years in this industry, I look at social media, I look at what other photographers are doing, and sometimes I feel like a total dumbass. Like, I'm like, oh my God, why would anyone hire me? Look at that person's work. And also, I question myself even after 30 years, but I will tell you the questioning window is a lot shorter than it used to be. Like, it's just it's maybe a flash now versus where I used to ruminate on it for days ahead of a photo shoot. And the reason it only happens for a second or two here and there for me now is because I have done a tremendous amount of work around banishing the trolls out of my own system. Because to be honest, a lot of the things that were comparison, confidence issues, they really related back to things that happened in my childhood or things that happened in my early career or things that were traumatic. Some of those in personal relationships I had in my youth. And well, I hate to admit it, even when I was a little older. So one of the gifts of becoming a Gestaltist and a board certified hypnotherapist is you get an opportunity to work on a lot of your own stuff. And one of the blessings in that particular training is that I learned how to identify and banish trolls. And I love that particular power. Probably I cherish it more than just about anything else. And if it were a gift that I could give with a magic wand to recognize the difference between a troll and your own inner reservations, I would bop every single person I walked by with that magic wand, because I think it's one of the most freeing things to understand what is yours from what is somebody else's. And so many times when I sit to work with a client or I sit in a mentorship with a photographer and we're talking about this particular subject where they're like, I just don't know about my confidence. And you guys know, we in our groups and in our workshops and retreats, we often talk to people about what is holding you back from being the photographer that you want to be. And confidence is frequently at the top of that list. So, the thing that I've learned is most of the time, those things that chip away at our confidence or those things that ask us to look around us and really compare ourselves in a negative way to others have to do with things that aren't even ours. Oftentimes, we've been handed this by our parents. And I do want to say they often do it unwittingly because we have to remember that many times what ends up on us is them wanting to discharge that trauma and not to excuse it. I don't want to be anybody's lawyer here, but most people do the best they can. There are some that don't. But most people are simply doing the best they can. And sometimes unwittingly, they discharge their own limiting beliefs, worries, concerns, lack of confidence. All of those things get discharged off into the people around them. And so we all have experienced that. There is no person walking around on this planet that walks in out of this unscathed. Between parents, teachers, coaches, other students when we're kids, then as we get older, our bosses, our coworkers, our significant others, our business partners, so many times it's their voices, but we don't recognize it as their voices. So it's really their fears, their concerns. And the other thing I work with a lot in my Gestalt business is generational trauma. And many times it's been handed down generation after generation after generation. And banishing it is something that clears it out for future generations. So it's actually really interesting to watch because you can erase that for future generations in your family. So how do you recognize it? Well, the first thing that I recommend that you do is whenever you find yourself questioning your abilities, questioning your creativity, comparing yourself in a negative light to another photographer, or getting to go, I can't do that, or who am I to be doing this, or why would anyone hire me? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but have you had those thoughts in your head on occasion?
Sure.
Yeah. So stop for a minute because many times, not for everyone, but for most people, those come with a voice. And it's not your voice. And so to stop for a minute and just listen and ask, whose voice is that? And many times at that moment, the troll will reveal themselves because just simply asking whose voice is that in my head or whose voice is that or who's sitting on my shoulder saying those things in my ear, that means you can speak their name. And many times that's the secret to banishing them. It's like a fairy tale. It really honestly works. If you can speak their name, it will banish them. If that doesn't happen to work and you recognize something that is chipping away at your confidence or causing you to really talk about yourself negatively, if you can pinpoint who that is, you can return it to sender. And you can do this in a very physical way. You could write it in a letter and actually put it in an envelope and then burn it and send it energetically. I don't really recommend that you mail it to the person. Or that you necessarily hit, mom or dad up with this. I figured out the voice in my head that's making me crazy and it's yours. So we don't need to go that route, but you can energetically return it to sender. It really, truly works. And if you're a person of faith, you can also hand it off to God, or you can hand it off to someone else that can help you dissipate that. So return it to sender, hand it off. You do not have to carry it. You can put it down and leave it. You can also bless and release it. So you can just say, hey, thank you for this experience of me understanding more about you, if it's someone else, or yourself, if it's you, and then release it. Let it go. Bless it and release it. And I can tell you for me, sometimes just walking through it in gratitude and saying, thank you for this lesson. And thank you for helping me recognize that I really am creative and that I really am capable and that I really am confident and that I really do know what I'm doing. And helping me realize that in a really big way is a way that I can let all of that go. All right. So that's enough woo. I'm handing it over to you guys.
We always like your woo.
I was gonna say, I think that was pretty good woo today. I can appreciate that, Kim. Thank you. So I think others will too. I go next. It's my turn.
Oh, wow. Get that troll off your shoulder, Phyllis.
Yeah, isn't that funny? After all this time, he's still here. Almost 100 episodes, and that troll's still here. Okay, so do you feel like everyone else is ahead? I know I personally feel that way lots of times, especially when I get on social media and look at what everybody else is doing and what I'm not doing and where they've been and where I want to go and I'm not able to go and the fantastic shoots they're shooting. But anyway, I just think it's important to not fall for the illusions of social media because actually in most cases, life online is curated. So you're totally comparing yourself to something that really doesn't exist in a lot of cases. Social media isn't always real life. It's a highlight reel. It's a brand, a carefully edited story. What you're seeing is not the full picture. And I know I'm guilty of doing this even in my feed. It's the best angles, the best moments, the wins, the beauty, the successes. It's that one amazing images, but we never get to see all the failed attempts. I have to admit, I rarely show my bad images, but trust me, I have a lot of them. The problem isn't that people share good things. That's human. The problem is that we forget that what we're looking at has been filtered, selected, and sometimes even staged. You're comparing your behind the scenes, your messy, complicated, in progress life to someone else's finished, polished presentation. Nobody is posting their uncertainty in real time. They're not showing rejections or financial stress, self-doubt, early mornings when nothing feels inspired. I think we've all been there, or at least I have. Or seasons when things just aren't working. And if they do share those things, it's usually after they've already made it, when they can package those things into a lesson or a comeback story, which is good. I mean, that's a good thing to do too. But when you're on social media and you feel like you're behind, like everyone else has it figured out, just remind yourself you're measuring yourself against an illusion. The danger is that if you buy into that illusion, you start to question your own pace. But real growth is slow, at times inconsistent, and it's full of ups and downs. I know growth for me has taken a long time. People don't know how long I've been doing this. If you're not careful, you'll start chasing the appearance of success instead of the substance of it. You'll prioritize how things look over what they actually are. So the goal isn't to quit social media, because I personally love social media. You just have to keep it in context, or even pretend it's all bad. The goal is to see it clearly. Use it as inspiration, but not as a measuring stick for your own life. I see that more and more. People really want to see those real, uncurated moments, someone they can really relate to. So keep that in mind, because the truth is we're all living a very full, complicated, imperfect life too. You're just not always seeing that part.
Yeah. And I think you can also get a little bit of imposter syndrome if you're pushing all your highlights out on social media as that person. And then you're like, oh, yeah, but that's only this much of a picture.
Absolutely.
And then that starts to play with your head and you think, oh, I'm a fraud or I'm an imposter because I'm saying I'm this successful and it's really only right here, right now.
Yeah.
And that can get super uncomfortable too.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Keep that in mind.
Also, keeping that together, like you can start feeling like you're comparing yourself to your old self, even because you're like, dang, like, last month I was busy and I was doing this and I was living this life and I got no highlight reels to post this month because it's real life.
Yep.
So go ahead.
Well, no, sorry. I was just going to say, I'm not good at doing that, but it's good to see those moments too. So, yeah.
You're probably right. Yep.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I'm going to talk about what I think the third piece of this conversation is, and that's what we do with comparison when it shows up, because it happens to all of us, right? And the truth is, it's very human to have comparison in our lives. And I don't think the answer is always, well, just don't compare yourself to everyone else, because I mean, that sounds nice, but it's really unrealistic unless you live alone in the woods somewhere with no Wi-Fi. So, I mean, that's the truth of it. Like, we're going to compare ourselves. It happens. We're humans. We're always looking at what someone else is doing for one reason or the other. And it's in our face because of, like you said, Phyllis, like social media, it's in our faces all the time. So in my opinion, comparison is it's a totally human thing. The problem is when we've let it become like some kind of proof that we're sucking at life. Instead of using it as like really valuable information for ourselves. And when I think about this, I've tried really hard to think about it in terms of like, what if we think about comparison in terms of like, it's a clue or it's something we need to figure out, like what it's trying to tell us about ourselves and like what we're thinking about it. So what if we thought about comparison as a way to like, maybe reveal something to us that we want, or maybe a skill that we want to improve on, or maybe there's a gap in our business or a style of editing that we really admire. Maybe a value that we forgot was important to us, or a place that we want or need more support in, or maybe just a place where we're as humans just being super unfair to ourselves by trying to like live up to someone else's highlight reel, like you said, Phyllis. So I think that when you feel that kind of like all the other people out there that you're seeing are getting ahead of you, you're comparing yourself to them, maybe, stop and ask yourself, what are you really referring to with this? Are you jealous that they're confident to put themselves out there? Are you jealous that it looks like they're being super consistent? Are you jealous that it seems like they're super busy as a photographer and getting a ton of bookings? Maybe their travel, their editing style, like their visibility out in the world, or maybe even something as simple as like their willingness to be seen out in the world. I think that when you can think about it, like, what is it about this that's giving me that feeling of I'm not good enough and I'm comparing myself, and try to identify what that piece is, then that can give you some direction. So I would just ask folks, when you identify that this comparison is showing up out there, and I will remind folks, every single one of us experiences it at some point. Ask yourself, is this really true? Like, or am I just seeing and feeling something that is, I don't know, maybe it's trying to tell me something, or maybe it's just in my head, but is there something useful here? And if I want to do something about it, what would that next step look like? And also understanding that you don't have to do a darn thing about it. Like, you can just let it go. But the fact is we're always comparing ourselves. So like trying to manage that in a way. And for me personally, as someone who, I don't know, like I get anxiety about feeling behind sometimes, and I struggle with that. So for me, if I can put it into perspective and like look at what it is I'm looking at here and what's bothering me about it, I a lot of times then can flip it and either think about it in a way that's more kind to myself, or I can think about it in a way that's super honest, and I can say, you know what, I have been really slow. If I'm concerned about that, then I need to think about why that is. So that's my 2 cents on this. I hope that fit in with what you guys wanted to talk about today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very much so.
So now we have everybody nice and confident and feet charge into the future and show up in a great big way. Banish those trolls off your shoulder.
That's right.
Get those negative voices out of your head, and march out into the world and make success.
All right. And like Kim was saying at the top of the episode, there are a couple of ways that you guys can join us out in the field. We've got a couple openings here and there, but they are filling up fast. We just have a couple openings for one event, literally because someone had to hop out of it the last couple of days. So this is your chance. If you want to get in, head over to cowgirlswithcameras.com. Check out our events page. You can also find us at our online equine photographers community at cowgirlswithcameras.community. And of course, we're on social media at Cowgirls with Cameras on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. So just find a way to hang out with us. We want to see you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Cowgirls with Cameras. Don't let the laughter and learning stop here. Join our community on social media and be sure to visit our website for more opportunities to fulfill your photography goals. Head to cowgirlswithcameras.com. That's cowgirlswithcameras.com. See you next time.